Hello friends, welcome to your own channel DY Books. Today we will talk about a book that has changed the lives of millions of people, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. This book teaches us how we can make our lives more effective and successful. In this video, we will understand the 10 most important lessons of this classic book in simple language, which you can apply in your daily life. So let's start an inspiring journey. Lesson 1. Be proactive. This is the first and most foundational principle of the 7 habits. Being proactive means being responsible, taking control of your life in your own hands. This is the opposite of being reactive, where we become slaves to situations and let external things control our feelings and behavior. Proactive people take responsibility for their choices. They do not play the blame game or make excuses. They believe that they are the architects of their own lives. Let's take a real-life example. Suppose you have a deadline in the office and your computer breaks down. A reactive person will say, "This computer always breaks down. Now I will not be able to meet the deadline." Whereas a proactive person will say, "The computer has broken down. What can I do now? Can I use someone else's computer? Can I talk to extend the deadline?" A proactive person tries to control a situation rather than giving into it. Covey also introduces us to the concept of the circle of concern and the circle of influence. The circle of concern is things we are concerned about but have no control over, like the weather or the behavior of others. The circle of influence is things we do have control over, like our own behavior and our choices. Proactive people focus on the circle of influence. They try to change things they have control over, rather than worrying about things they don't. So, the first lesson is to be proactive. Take responsibility for your life, stop making excuses, and focus on things you do have control over. Choose your reactions, don't be a victim of circumstances. Be the driver of your life, not the passenger. Lesson 2. Begin with the end in mind. In this lesson, Covey teaches us that we should start every task with a clear vision. We should know what we want to achieve and what is the purpose of our life. This means writing the script of our life, instead of following the script written by others. Covey advises us to create our personal mission statement, which is a kind of roadmap for our life. This statement tells us what is important to us, what are our values, and what we want to contribute in our life. Let's take a real-life example. Suppose you want to start a business. If you do not have a clear vision of what you want to sell, to whom you want to sell, and what kind of impact your business will create, then your chances of being successful are very low. On the other hand, if you have a clear business plan that defines your goals, strategies, and values, then your chances of being successful are very high. The meaning of begin with the end in mind is applicable not only in business or career, but also in personal life. We should think about what kind of person we want to be, how our relationships should be, and what legacy we want to leave in our life. Covey also tells us that we should maintain balance in every aspect of our life, such as physical health, mental health, relationships, and career. We should not focus too much on any one area, but should progress in all areas. Therefore, the second lesson is to begin with the end in mind. Create a clear vision of your life, write your personal mission statement, and maintain balance in every aspect of your life. Only by deciding your destination can you walk on the right path. Life without a goal is like a rudderless boat. Be the director of your own life, not a character in someone else's script. Lesson 3. Put first things first. In this lesson, Covey teaches us about time management, but it is a little different from traditional time management techniques. He advises us to manage ourselves, not just time. He tells us that we should prioritize our activities based on urgency and importance. Covey introduces a time management matrix that consists of 4 quadrants: Quadrant 1, urgent and important; Quadrant 2, not urgent but important; Quadrant 3, urgent but not important; and Quadrant 4, not urgent and not important. Quadrant 1 includes things like crisis, deadlines, and problems that require immediate action. Quadrant 3 includes things like interruptions, meetings, and some calls that seem urgent but are not that important. Quadrant 4 includes time-wasting activities like watching too much TV or scrolling social media. Covey says that we should spend most of our time in Quadrant 2, which includes things like planning, relationship building, learning, and prevention. These things are not urgent, but are very important in the long term. Let's take a real-life example. Suppose you have an important project whose deadline is near, Quadrant 1. At the same time, some of your friends invite you to watch a movie, Quadrant 3. If you leave your project and go to watch a movie, then you are neglecting an important task. On the other hand, if you complete your project first, then you are following the principle of put first things first. So, the third lesson is to do the most important things first. Prioritize your activities and spend most of your time in quadrant 2. Proper use of time is the key to success. Do the most important work first, the rest later. Only by setting your priorities correctly can you use your time properly. Lesson 4. Think win-win. In this lesson, Kavi talks about interpersonal leadership, that is, our relationships with others. He advises us to adopt a win-win philosophy, which means finding solutions that benefit both parties. This is completely different from the win-lose or lose-win thinking, where one party's gain is the other party's loss. In win-win, we believe that something good can happen to everyone. We try to find such agreements and solutions that benefit both parties. Let's take a real-life example. Suppose you work in a team and you have to work on a project. If you focus only on your ideas and ignore the ideas of others, then it will be a win-lose situation. On the other hand, if you work together with the team and combine everyone's ideas and find the best solution, then it will be a win-win situation. Think win-win is not only applicable in business or workplace, but also in personal relationships. We should think of win-win with our family members, friends, and partners as well. Covey also tells us that win-win is a habit of thought, a character, and also a skill. To develop it, we need empathy, courage, and integrity. Therefore, the fourth lesson is to think beneficial for both. Find solutions that are beneficial for both parties. This is the foundation of a healthy and productive relationship. Nothing happens by thinking only about your own benefit. It is important to take care of others as well. Only with mutual cooperation and understanding can we achieve better results. There can be something good for everyone, just need to focus on it. Lesson 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. In this lesson, Kavi emphasizes the importance of communication and empathy. He tells us that the most important thing for effective communication is to understand others. When we talk to someone, we should not just focus on saying our point, but should listen to them carefully and try to understand. Covey calls this empathetic listening, which means trying to listen from the perspective of others, trying to understand their feelings. Let's take a real-life example. Suppose a colleague of yours is worried about a project. If you just start giving him your advice, then he may not listen to you. On the other hand, if you first listen to him carefully, try to understand his problem, and then give your advice, then he will listen to you more carefully and try to understand him. The meaning of seek first to understand is not only applicable in the workplace, but also in personal relationships. We should practice empathetic listening with our family members, friends, and partners. Covey also tells us that when we understand others, we form a stronger connection with them and build trust. And when we are understood, we are also more open and receptive. Therefore, the fifth lesson is to first try to understand, then to be understood. Empathy is very important for effective communication. Just saying your point of view does not help. It is also important to understand others. Only by understanding the point of view of others can we establish better communication. Trying to explain yourself before understanding others is futile. First be a listener, then a speaker. Lesson 6. Synergize. In this lesson, Covey tells us about the importance of teamwork and collaboration. Synergy means that when two or more people work together, their combined effort is greater than the sum of their individual efforts. That is, 1 + 1 = 3 or even more. Synergy occurs when we value the differences of others, understand their perspective, and work together. It is more than just agreement or compromise. It is a creative process where we generate new ideas and find solutions that no one has thought of before. Let's take a real-life example. Suppose there is a musical band in which there are people playing different instruments. If everyone plays only according to his own will, no melody will be created. On the other hand, if they play in harmony with each other, a very beautiful melody is created. This is synergy. The meaning of synergize applies not only to the workplace, but also to family, friends, and community. When we work together with others, we can achieve more and enjoy more. Covey also tells us that open communication, trust, and respect are essential for synergy. Only when we trust and respect each other can we collaborate effectively. Therefore, the sixth lesson is to create synergy. Work together with others, value their differences, and create new solutions. Unity is strength. When we work together, we can achieve much more than working alone. Respecting each other's ideas and supporting each other is true synergy. Lesson 7. Sharpen the saw. This lesson is about self-renewal. Kavi tells us that we must take care of all 4 dimensions of our lives: physical, social, emotional, mental, and spiritual. These 4 dimensions are like the 4 blades of a saw. If we use only one blade and do not sharpen the other blades, the saw will not work effectively. The physical dimension includes our health, exercise, and nutrition. We must take care of our bodies and follow a healthy lifestyle. The social-emotional dimension includes our relationships, empathy, and communication skills. We must nurture our relationships and maintain good relationships with others. The mental dimension includes our learning, reading, and creativity. We must constantly learn and stimulate our minds. The spiritual dimension includes our values, commitments, and inner peace. We must live according to our values and maintain our inner peace. Let's take a real-life example. Suppose you are a student. If you focus only on studies and neglect your health, relationships, and hobbies, you may get burned out. On the other hand, if you maintain balance in all 4 dimensions of your life, you will be able to study more effectively and live a happy and fulfilled life. So, the 7th lesson is to sharpen the saw. Take care of all 4 dimensions of your life and focus on self-renewal. Continuous improvement is the key to success. Just like sharpening a saw makes it cut more effectively, renewing ourselves makes us more effective. The path to perfection is to be balanced physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Taking care of yourself is not selfishness, but the first step to success. Lesson 8. Interdependence Paradigm. Stephen Covey tells us that we go through 3 stages in our lives: dependence, independence, and interdependence. In dependence, we are dependent on others, like children on their parents. In independence, we become self-reliant and can do our own work. In interdependence, we understand that we are connected to others and we can achieve more together. The 7 habits help us move from independence to interdependence. The first 3 habits: be proactive, begin with the end in mind, do the most important things first, help us achieve independence. The next 3 habits: think win-win, first seek to understand, then be understood, coordinate, help us achieve interdependence. Sharpen the saw helps us sustain both these stages. Interdependence does not mean that we become dependent on others again. It means that we work together and support each other while maintaining our independence. Let's take a real-life example. Suppose there is a team working on a project. If each member does only his own work and does not collaborate with others, the project will not be as successful as it would be if they all worked together. Interdependence teaches us that we can achieve more by working together. It is a higher level of effectiveness where we use each other's strengths and complement each other's weaknesses. Therefore, this lesson helps us understand that we do not live in isolation, but in a connected world where working together with others is very important. Self-reliance is important, but working together with others is even more important. Only by working together can we achieve great success. Mutual cooperation and dependence is the basis of human society. Lesson 9. Principles are timeless. Stephen Covey's 7 habits are not time management techniques or motivational tricks, but they are based on principles. Principles are basic truths that are always true, no matter what the situation is. Just like the principle of gravity always works, these principles also always work. These principles are about human nature and effectiveness. They tell us how we can make our lives more meaningful and successful. Covey tells us that we should focus on principles, not values. Values are subjective and can change according to people, but principles are objective and always remain the same. Let's take a real-life example. Suppose, honesty is a principle. It is always true, no matter what situation you are in. While some people may say that lying is necessary in certain situations, this is a value-based judgment, not a principle-based one. The principles of the 7 habits, such as proactivity, begin with the end in mind, and think win-win, are all timeless and applicable to every situation. They give us a strong foundation on which we can build our lives. They tell us how we can improve our relationships, achieve our goals, and live a more effective and fulfilled life. Therefore, this lesson helps us understand that the 7 habits are not just some tips and tricks, but they are based on basic principles of life that will always remain relevant. Principles transcend the boundaries of time. They guide us even in changing times. Values may change, but principles remain unwavering. Just as a strong building can be built on a strong foundation, similarly, only a life based on principles can lead to lasting success. Lesson 10. The Inside-Out Approach. Stephen Covey tells us that the right way to achieve effectiveness is to take an inside-out approach. This means that we must first change ourselves, improve our thinking, our character, and our habits, and then we will be able to improve our relationships with others and our situations. This is the opposite of the outside-in approach, where we think that if the outside circumstances change, we will also change. Covey says that real change starts from the inside. When we change ourselves, we can change our situations too. Let's take a real-life example. Let's say you are having problems in your relationship with someone. If you only think that if that person changes, everything will be fine, then this is an outside-in approach. On the other hand, if you work on yourself, improve your communication skills, and become more empathetic, you can improve that relationship. This is an inside-out approach. The 7 Habits guide us to follow this approach. They tell us how we can build our character, improve our habits, and live a more effective and successful life. Therefore, this lesson helps us understand that real change begins from within. When we change ourselves, only then can we change our world. It is important to change yourself before trying to change external circumstances. Internal change paves the way to external success. Just as a plant bears fruit only when it is strong from the root, similarly external success is achieved only with internal strength. Working on yourself is the biggest investment. So friends, these were the 10 powerful lessons from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. We learned how proactivity, vision, prioritization, win-win thinking, empathy, synergy, and self-renewal can make us more effective and successful. These lessons are very important not only for business or career, but for our entire life. Hope you liked this video and learned something new. If you found this video informative, then like it, share it, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel DY Books so that you keep getting more such videos. See you in the next video. Till then, thank you.